Mother Alagammal, her final day. 70 years ago this month, on May 19, 1922, the mother of the Maharishi breathed her last with her son sitting by her side. She prayed it would happen like this. The marvelous story of how the Maharishi guided her soul to the final shore of emancipation during her last moments is related here by perhaps the only living survivor who witnessed it, Sri Kunju Swami. Also, he goes on to describe in detail how the body was interred near the Pali Tirtham. On that last day from 5 a.m., there was a premonition that this was Mother's final day. Bhagavan sat by her side and put one hand on her chest and the other on her head. He was advising everyone to go and eat because if she died, it was considered unclean by orthodox people to eat in a house where a death occurred. Some of the orthodox ones among us went and ate, but others who felt particularly close to Bhagavan didn't think about leaving him to go and eat. Bhagavan continued to sit by Mother's side and kept his hands on her. Different expressions of joy and sorrow were passing over her face. Bhagavan was commenting, "Is Mother in this world? No, she is in different worlds, going through various births and the consequent experiences." When her passing seemed imminent, people like Ganapati Muni, T.K. Sundaresh Iyer, and others decided to recite from the Vedas. On the other side, Saranagati Ramaswamy and a Punjabi gentleman started reciting Ramajapa. Without any forethought, we joined in with the singing of Aksharamanamale and Arunachala Shiva. Amidst this loud singing and reciting of various scriptures, Mother left the body. Still, Bhagavan continued to keep his hands on her heart and head. We wondered why he was still seated like that. Then he explained, "When Payani Swami was breathing his last, I did the same thing. I thought the soul had subsided in the heart and removed my hands. He opened his eyes and the life force left through the eyes. So this time, to be certain, I am keeping the hands on longer than needed." I learned this important secret from Bhagavan that day. He then got up and we all ate. After eating, we gathered again near the body without any feeling of pollution. Ganapati Muni had raised the question about the possibility of a woman attaining the state of realization in Ramana Gita. Bhagavan said that the state of realization does not relate to the form of the gross body. So we all felt satisfied that Mother had attained liberation and we were happy. Happier indeed because we saw that Mother's face and body were now radiating such luster and light. Since Bhagavan had given her mukti and her whole body and face were shining, it was decided that the body should be given a ceremonial burial instead of the customary burning for Brahmin widows. We then joyfully decorated the body with kumkum, malas and flowers. After liberation, we decided that Mother's body should be buried near the Pali Tirtham. We decided to keep this decision secret because we knew if this news spreads, there would be an unimaginable crowd gathered for the Samadhi funeral. We decided to bring the body down to the hill before 5 a.m. In the meantime, Ramakrishna Swami and Perumal Swami went to town and brought to the burial site 2 or 3 cartloads of funeral supplies, cement, camphor, vibhuti, etc. I still remember that the day before Mother's Mahasamadhi, Ramakrishna Swami and I had gone up the hill and found many bamboo trees and brought back a good number of bamboo sticks to Skandashramam. It was these sticks that were tied together and used to carry Mother's body down to Pali Tirtham. I was instructed to remain at Skandashramam because telegrams had been sent to relatives in Tiruchuri and other places, and they were expected to arrive at Skandashramam that morning. The body was kept under the Asavastha tree, and Bhagavan, along with other devotees, sat near it. By 7 or 7:30 a.m., relatives from Tiruchuri and other places arrived, and I brought them all down to Pali Tirtham. By this time, the whole town heard the news and had come there. Many shopkeepers arrived with supplies of bananas, camphor, etc. Pandits were reciting scriptures, and Bhagavan sat majestically alongside the body. It looked as if we were in a temple. There was much wild cactus at this side, and while some of us were removing it, Perumal Swami dug the pit and constructed the samadhi inside of it. About 10:30 or 11 a.m., everything was ready. Bhagavan had already marked the passages in Tirumandiram, a text written by the great saint Tiruvarul, explaining how a jnani's body is to be interred. Accordingly, Mother's body was carried to the samadhi pit, placed inside, and Bhagavan poured on the body a large amount of vibhuti. Others followed by adding camphor, sandalwood, etc. in full accordance with Saint Tiruvarul's injunctions. The samadhi was then closed, some stones were placed over it, and a small shrine was constructed. It was indeed a glorious sight. After this ceremony, we all went to Parakuttu, where arrangements were made to feed some 200 people. Bhagavan started walking towards Parakuttu with the others. Leading the procession was a group of musicians with drums and horns playing the Nadaswaram. The distance to Parakuttu was only 1 or 200 yards, but Bhagavan walked so slowly and majestically, it took 2 hours to cover the distance. It was a sight even for celestial beings to see.